Welcome to another tips and tricks video. In this video I'm going to show you how to use the time solver to create an exit logic template for your SI Raven strategy. So let me kind of explain what I have on the chart here first. So as you can see, I have this gray shaded, yellowish, and then this blue, and then the blue gets a little lighter, and then a solid black background. And so that is this time zone colors SIBH indicator. I took the original indicator from Big Mike's, built in a couple of improvements, and also added a bool series for use with BloodHound. So what the gray area is there's no market around the world that's open. The yellow area, as you can see, there's a yellow area here, is Tokyo market. The blue area is when the European market opens. And then when the blue area gets a little lighter, that's when the US market and the European market are open at the same time. And then when the European market closes, then it goes to solid black. So these are just my personal preferences I set up for this demonstration. The signals that I built is just a simple MACD crossover system. So you can see when the MACD line crosses the average line, go long and then go short. So that way I wanted to build a system that was always in the market, so that way we can build an exit strategy for SI Raven to exit us whenever we decide that we should stop trading for the day. First thing I want to do is to add SI Raven, and we'll add the entry signals onto the chart. So we'll go into strategies, load up Raven, and then select the BloodHound template. So there it is. Click OK. And all I have right now is an entry logic. So it says entry logic. And I want to build a system that's always in the market. So I'm going to leave these settings alone. And one thing I do want to do is I'm going to turn off this exit on close setting. So that way we can have BloodHound control when to exit on the close of market. And the next thing I need to do is enable it, and then we'll hit OK. Alright, now you notice that there's two instances of BloodHound on your chart now when you use Raven. So the second instance was called from the strategy that we just added to the chart. So let me just adjust this a little bit. So we can see here all the trades that are taking place by the green and red lines. All right, so we're always in the market. Let me just kind of scroll back just to see what's going on. So what we want to do is we want to exit the market when the market closes. And as you can see on the chart, this is the YM, which is the mini Dow index futures. And so we want to exit the market at 2 p.m. my time. So we want to close the system out at 2 p.m. and allow it to start trading at 7:30. 7:30 is when the market opens in my time zone. Alright, so we can see when the darker blue goes a little lighter, that's when the system can start trading, and we want to exit before we get to the gray area. Let me bring up the BloodHound interface. So here's the entry logic. Very simple. So I'm going to create a new logic template and call it exits on market close. And in this demonstration I am using BloodHound version 1.103. So I just want to make this clear, because in the future, You might see some subtle changes from what you see here because we're continuously making improvements to the product. And some of our videos that we've done a while back look a little different from the interface that you see now. Alright, so I'm going to add a new time solver on here. Connect this up. I'm going to switch this over. So instead of the default, what I want to use is the CME US index futures, and I want the regular trading hours. Alright, now we can see, so these times are set in Central Time, which is 1 hour before me. So 8:30 is 7:30 my time. And you can see that the futures actually ends 15 minutes after the market closes. Now most brokers probably won't allow you to go about 5 minutes past the market closed. Very few brokers will allow you to go all the way to the 15-minute mark. So we want to adjust this just to make our brokers happy here. So I'm going to copy this and we'll call it CME US index futures, and we'll call it the modified regular trading hours. Alright, so I made a new session template. Now I want to edit. A lot of people probably will want to exit the market actually about 15 minutes before the close. So that would be 2:45. That way they stay out of the choppy volatility that happens a lot. Okay, I skipped ahead so you didn't have to watch me edit all those settings. And now you can see I have them all edited to end 15 minutes before the market closes. Click OK. And let's look at the chart. So we can see it starts at 7:30 and it ends at about 15 minutes before the market closes. And this is 15 minutes before the gray area begins. Alright, so we have signals here during the market hours. And remember, so these are supposed to be exit signals. So we want them to occur when the market is closed. So we can actually use this to reverse them. We'll just reverse those outputs. And there we go. So this will tell Raven to exit our signals. So now I'm going to show you another way to do this, which will build in kind of a double safety into your system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this solver back to normal. Alright, so the time solver is on. We're giving you a signal during the market hours that we want to trade. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this solver to our entries. Let me move these back here. And I'm going to join them together with an AND node. And now let's take a look at the chart. So now we see there's no signals. Remember, we're just looking at the upper, we're only modifying the upper instance of BloodHound, which is the one on the chart. The lower one is the one that came from SI Raven, and that's not going to get modified. We're going to have to reload the BloodHound template to update SI Raven. The changes that we make are only going to be reflected in the BloodHound instance that's on the chart. So we can see here that none of these trades are showing up as signals when the market is closed. Right, so that turns the entry signals off. But as you can probably determine, that this last trade, this last short here, would have stayed on all the way back until the market opened again. We'd get a long signal here. Right, so you'd have this open position overnight. And so that's why we're building this exit signal to exit us, so that we don't have a position open overnight. So what we're going to add is, I'm going to add the inverter. And simply enough, you can see it inverted the signals there. Now if I make any changes here, it's going to affect the same solver that's also on the entries. Alright, so it's going to affect this solver here. Alright, you can probably guess leading into this, why don't I just change this? Well, because if I do change this, if I reverse this, and then you can see it's giving us a signal during the market hours. If I go back to the entries, right, we don't have any entries during the market hours, but only after hours. That's because it affected the same solver here. You can see it got reversed. So let me put these back. There, everything is normal. So now we have our entries and our exits built the way we'd like it. And what I need to do is I need to save this. I could exit this and that will save your template file as well, but I want to keep this interface open. Go back into strategies. And you have to disable your strategy, apply it, and then I can go and reload the BloodHound template file. The entry is still here, and the exits, I now have an exits logic template. Select that, and I need to re-enable the system. Hit OK. I'm going to switch this BloodHound into the entries. Put this on here so it matches. Alright, so we can see that this trade exited right here at 13:51, and so the bar before it ended at 13:45 and 3 seconds, so it exited on the beginning of the next bar, and then it starts back up when the market opens. Let's kind of scroll back and take a look at another day. There we go. This BloodHound, or I should say Raven, is running on calculate on bar close. Let me open up Raven here. So calculate on bar close is set to true. So it's not going to exit us at exactly 2:45. You have to wait for the bar to close. So we can see this bar closed at 1:48 instead of 1:45. So we did actually exit about 3 minutes after the time we specified. So just keep that in mind. Remember, these are 10 range bars, so they're not time based. And you never know when a range bar might close. Alright, so that does it for this tips and tricks videos. Thank you.